Hello, this is Ollie's Movie Madness, and I'm going to be doing a movie review of Captain Marvel. Now, a lot of people say that this is a really terrible MCU movie. I never really hated it. I always found it fun and entertaining, mainly because it fixes most of my problems with the first Captain Marvel film. It actually develops the characters more. The villain is still weak, and I'll get to the villain later, but I will say she's better than Yonrog from the first movie. But the storyline is really fun and really easy to follow because we focus on Captain Marvel. She is flying through space until she meets this woman named Darben who she has history with. And she needs help to defeat her. So she recruits her old childhood friend Monica Rambeau. And they switch places wherever they use their powers. So they need help. So they decide to recruit Kamala Khan / Miss Marvel, and the three of them team up to take down Darben and save the world. And that's basically what the plot is for the film. Very simple, very easy storyline. Which I will say, the storyline in this movie much better than the one in the first movie. In the first movie, I didn't really care for the storyline. This one, I really do. The performances are actually better this time around than they were in the first Captain Marvel film. Let's talk about Brie Larson. Look, I didn't really like her in the first movie. I found her very dull and bland as Carol Danvers / Captain Marvel. I will say in this movie, she gets one of her best performances. Now, that's not saying much because I'm not a fan of this character, but I will say they did give her more of a personality. They do give Captain Marvel more of a character arc. And I do like how in this film, Captain Marvel kind of emotes more. There's a scene where she breaks down crying, explaining to Monica Rambeau and Kamala Khan that they weren't supposed to see this dark version of her, which was a really powerful and emotional scene. So I think this movie overall sort of fixed Captain Marvel. Not all the way, but it did it good enough. Tiana Paris plays Monica Rambeau, and much like she was in WandaVision, I still like her as this character, you know. Monica Rambeau, the character that you really feel bad for, her mom died, and she wanted to know why Captain Marvel was never there for her. And when they had that argument scene, it's actually really powerful and a really sad moment in the film because she feels guilty that she wasn't there for Monica Rambeau. She is kind of mad that Carol Danvers never came back to see her. So I think their relationship is the strongest aspect of the entire movie. Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury, he was the highlight in the first movie. But my problem was they made him a little too silly. But here they make him a mix of both funny and serious. The scene where he sees Goose have baby kittens or baby four kids was a really cute and just a really heartwarming scene in the entire film. It was the sweetest moment of the entire film. Easily the big standout is Amal Vellani as Miss Marvel, or Kamala Khan / Miss Marvel. She did a tremendous job. I liked her in her own show, but I loved her in this movie. She's kind of similar to Cassie in the first two Ant-Man movies, you know. Really happy-go-lucky, had this positive attitude. And the relationship she forms with Captain Marvel is the strongest aspect of the film. The scene where she said we should call herself the Marvels, and then she said, oh wait, is that copyright? That was really funny when she said I should be called Miss Marvel. That was really hilarious. The jokes in this movie were actually really funny. Tessa Thompson briefly reprises her role as Valkyrie. And while she's only in one scene, she actually did a great job in this movie. but I think I'm on line steal the entire show. Now let's talk about Dar-Benn, the main villain in this film. This character, I actually enjoy better than the villain in the first movie. I will say that she's better than Yon-Rogg, but she's still a weak villain, unfortunately. I do think her motivations are a lot stronger, and her origin is actually really great. You do feel bad for Dar-Benn. You understand why she wants to fix her planet Hala to get the sun back, and now they're really great motivation. And I think for the most part, while her character is dull, I do think the actress was really great in this movie. Now, granted, I think Emma Corrin from Deadpool and Wolverine gave a better performance than the actress did in this movie, but I don't think she was a terrible villain. That being said, she's just Ronan as a woman. That is exactly my problem. That is my problem with her, unfortunately, that it's just the gender swap version of Ronan the Accuser from Guardians of the Galaxy. She even had that purple glowing hammer thing like he did in the first Guardians film. So I think overall they did fix the villain for this film. They did give Captain Marvel a better villain, but she's still a weak villain. I will say she's better than Bill Skarsgård's character from Eternals. I will say that. The directing, which I don't know the director's name, but I thought she did a great job. She develops these girls really well. She actually gives Captain Marvel a personality. She actually does a great job developing her and Monica Rambeau's relationship. It is the strongest aspect of the entire film. So I think overall she did a great job directing. Even when she actually did a decent job of developing the villain of Dar-Benn. She actually did a great job developing that character. Now I talk about the scene that people hate. The singing scene and the dancing scene. I never hated it. I actually found it really fun. I'll say this. Unlike Joker Folia 2, the dancing is very short. It doesn't drag on like how they did in that piece of shit of a movie. I think Joker Folia 2 has worse dancing scenes than this film does. I didn't know that, but Brie Larson sings really well in this movie. There's a scene in the movie. It's that exact scene where she dances with the prince, which was a really awesome scene. So in conclusion, I don't think this movie is as horrible as a lot of people say it is. I do think it's one of the most underrated MCU movie. I thought the storyline was a lot better than the first Captain Marvel film. I thought the acting was way better. I think the characters are more developed than they were in the first Captain Marvel film. Yeah, the villain's weak, but I will say they did sort of fix the villain as well. Not by much, but they at least gave her a character. In fact, I believe this is the 8th character they gender swapped, because I think in the comics Dar-Benn's a guy, which I did not know that. So, but this one I'm okay with them gender bending because he is an obscure villain. He didn't really do much in the comics. But I think aside from the villain, I think everything else works. The action sequences, Nick Fury, all the jokes, all the emotional stuff works. So I give this movie a 8 out of 10. It's fun and enjoyable. So that is my movie review of The Marvels. Hope you guys enjoyed.